And now, from Glasgow.
So hello guys, today is the 13th of May. It's actually my birthday today, so I've decided I'm going to do a double build. The reality is there isn't a massive amount of pieces, and there's not really much screwing to do, so I thought, right, okay, fine, let's do a double issue. So I'll do a parts checklist for both stages before we move on. So we have got 21A is the left knee. Again, a lovely piece. It's plastic, but it's really nice. 21B left shin guard. Nice. We have got a cap for the left shin guard. It's very small and it's in its own separate bag. And we've got some BM screws. A total of 4. Don't know if there's going to be any spares. And then for parts 22, we have got 22A, the left cell plate, nicely detailed. 22B, the left knee inner plate. And then 22C, we've got the left ankle inner plate. So 21, 22. Let's get on. And we need one more thing, which is the leg. So we are going to begin with 21B, the left shin guard, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 holes in there, but we can see there's 3 screw holes. So that is, we've got locating pins for the top, so we're going to line those locating pins up, and there's no locating pin at the bottom, but we should be able to line that up once we've got those 2 in. So we're going to need 3 BM screws. That's not going to stay on by itself. Now these are metal screws, so we are going to require a little bit of oil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pre-oil the holes before we begin. Now what I have noticed, I can't tell if that hole is off center or if this plate is slightly bigger than this one. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference overall. And as per usual, I put my screwdriver down and couldn't find it. Right, so let's get one screw ready. Whoops, that's not going to happen. Right, so we are going to line these pegs up in there like so. I'm having a bit of trouble getting the screw to stick. Now what I've decided I'm going to do, because there's no locating peg on this screw hole, I'm only going to put those 2 in just enough to hold it. It's going to make it a lot easier once it's holding, but because the top screws aren't going to be screwed in fully, it's going to give us some movement on the plate if I can get the screw to stay on the screwdriver. You know, well, let's do the same plan as before. Let's drop that screw in. Oh, come on. There we go. And I don't know if you can notice, but the 3rd screw is stuck to the screwdriver. But that's fine, it's not going anywhere. Right, so I've screwed those in just enough to bite. You see I've still got plenty of movement. So what I'm now going to do is work on that bottom screw, and we can drive that one in all the way. Still concerned that that hole is off center, but as I say, I can't work out if the hole is off center or if one of the leg plates is slightly bigger than the other, so the hole is therefore in the center. That's not wanting to go in. Double check and I've put the screw in the correct hole. I have done. So that's driven in as tight as it will go till there's no movement. So then we can finish these top two screws off, and this is really starting to get quite weighty. So if you multiply the weight of this again for the other leg, and then the arms are going to be probably roughly the same size, and I reckon the body will be what, 4 times the size, the weight of each leg and each arm. You know, even if we're conservative, it's going to be 2 or 3 times the weight. It's going to be quite hefty. It's going to be very hefty. I was considering taking a cut here, guys, but I'm nearly finished now. Right, so as long as that plate doesn't move, that's on perfect. So next we want, we have 2 plates. So this is going on, this is not making total sense to me. Right. Okay, we've got some locating pegs there and we've got 2 holes there. So either wants to go that way, which I think is correct. Yep. So we've got 2 holes there, and this is just a push fit connection. So that's going on there. Now, for mine, it is quite a tight fit, and I don't think that's going to come off by itself. But I suppose if you wanted to, you could pop a little bit of super glue in there. Now, 21A. Now attach the left knee, also marked with an L, which will cover part of the knee sleeve. It is attached to the assembly by fitting the 2 posts into the corresponding. Right, I see it's 2 views. So that's that piece done. So I think we'll be doing that cap next. Yes. So all that's left is to do this cap. And this is interesting. So you'll see that there's 2 black lines on that cap. And if you look on there, there's 2 black lines. So you want to try and get this cap on, and it is actually shaped. So if you look there, there's a small ridge at the top. You can't see it because of the shininess, but there is a small ridge. And if you look at the back of this cap, you can see it's flat at the top. So that flat bit wants to go up. That will slip into there, and that will line up quite nicely. Like, it's not quite in, it's not going. So I'm just going to rotate that a little bit and just keep. Now that might actually be upside down. It was. There we go. And that is actually a really good fit. It's a push fit, but that isn't going anywhere in a hurry, guys. Again, if you are worried about it, you can always pop a drop of glue in there, but obviously you'll never be able to access that screw. Right, so that is the end of that stage. So on to stage 22, which is just called left lower leg. We have got 3 pieces to fit, and they look like they're all going to be push fits. So we've got piece 22A is going on the back. Remember I said that it looks like there'll be something going on there. And that is going to go, you've got a little notch in the corner there, and that's going to go and coincide with that. So we're just going to push the pegs into the holes. Little tiny bit of flash there. If you want to be a bit fussy, you can always just knock that down with a bit of sandpaper. But it looks like it's not needed. But look where the pegs are and give that a good solid push. Again, I don't think that's coming out in a hurry, or possibly. There we go. If you pull it, I think that will come out, but it won't come out by itself. That's rather nice. So the next piece we want is piece 22B. So the last piece we've done, we're just going to rotate it. 2 holes, 2 pegs, and that's going to go in. And again, we've got a little tiny bit of flash there. That particular piece of flash does bother me. So I'm just going to gently get a knife. I'm trying to do this properly, but I've just trimmed away from myself and I've just removed that. That's only because I'm fussy, guys. Make sure you get the pegs lined up properly with the hole. Try and push where the pegs are, because if those pegs aren't quite in and you push, you could snap the pegs off. That's not wanting to go in. That really doesn't want to go in. It's almost as though that piece doesn't want to live there. So peg, I could scrape the pegs down, but that will make them, there we go. That's much better. So there is actually a slight angle to it, and it needs to go in. It is, as you can see, it's quite a tight fit. Yeah, I'm okay with that. It could be a lot better. I think I might just take those pegs down a little bit. There's obviously too much, like, I would call it paint block, but I just think those pegs are just slightly too thick. I don't want to take too much off the pegs, because if I do that, they'll run in and out too easily. It actually looks like it's a little tiny bit of flash on one. There we go. But as I say, don't take too much off, because if you do, they'll just pop back out again. They need some friction to stay put. You know, I don't think that's going to go. I think that's the best I'm going to get. A little bit of a disappointment because it's not quite flush, but it's okay. It looks nice, and I think in the context of the whole thing, this is going to be on the inside. I don't think it's going to be that noticeable. Right, so we have got one more piece left. Looking at the front of the leg, just turn it to the inside, which is there, and we're going to pop this piece in. And again, we have two holes and we have some pegs, and let's see if this one fits better. Oh, that's beautiful. That is absolutely amazing. And do you know what? I don't think that's really that noticeable. Excellent. Really happy with that. So this is the left leg done. I don't know what we're going to be working on in the next issue, because they never tell us, look. Never ever tell us. So we don't know whether to get really excited or really excited. But I think we're done all right there. So that's that left leg complete. Let's compare it to the right leg. Now, we did the right foot way before we did the left foot. A little bit of an interesting note. When we did the right foot, we put this piston in, and that was screwed in there fine. We've actually done the piston a different way round, so I'm finding that quite interesting. So will we be removing this when we do the leg, or will we just be building it that way? That I would be interested in finding out. Right, so that's that leg done. We have got a right arm with the articulated fingers, if you remember. We've got this rubberized wrist. So yeah, the hands do move. Know that so the hands move, the arm moves, and there's obviously going to be a shoulder joint. And we have a head, but we don't have a face yet. Now, I know you can buy replacement faces. I don't know, because obviously we know this is out in France and they're ahead of us, so they probably already know what the face looks like. But my opinion is, until we actually know what's coming in the face, do we want to be looking at replacements? But we also have 2 shoulder joints. So we've got enough parts here to decide whether it's going to be good. Now, why am I looking at all of these parts? So there was a little bit of unfortunate news came with this pack. I suppose it was inevitable. And just paraphrasing a little bit, we're doing everything we can to bring you close to your passions by delivering the best experience possible. But unfortunately, in order to do this, when faced with adversity, we sometimes have to take difficult decisions. Basically, it's going up £1 an issue. It's a little bit disappointing that they've waited until we're 22 issues into the build, because I've already spent £200 odd on this, and I think I've pretty much hit the point of no return. And now I'm going to be doing an extra. To be honest with you, the only reason I can continue with this is because Ecto 1 has just finished for me. So that's giving me a little bit extra money a month. However, the ET, which is running, will be next week. They're actually going to be going over to about 7 issues a month. So that's going to be going up quite a lot. Now, I think it's fair to say that the ET will be going up by £1 a month, £1 an issue. And if they're giving us 7 or 8 issues a month, I can't remember exactly how many they're giving us. Might even be 6. But if they're going up by £1 an issue, that's a big jump. So on 2 part works, it's now costing me an extra tenner a month. What do you guys think? Do you think this is worth the money? I think it possibly is. It is a really nice build. But obviously you have to think about money. Some people earn more money than others. You know, some people can't afford to do every single build out there, and they have to pick and choose which one they do. Is this one that you would pick if you were limited? So with that, guys, I shall bid you farewell. Obviously I'll be back in 2 weeks, but at the time of filming I have no idea what's coming next. But take care, guys, and have a wonderful fortnight.